Hello and welcome to another Printables tutorial. This time I will be showing you how to work with tables to make ruled and gridded layouts. So first of course you're going to open up an A5 page, convert it to page layout, which if you're familiar with Microsoft Office is pretty much the difference between a page in Word and a page in Publisher. Now here we go, it's all like a canvas. I'm going to quickly just pop in some design elements so that we can get started with the tables and such. So background, of course, all the stuff that I covered in my first tutorial will be used in this one as well. Manipulating images, making sure that things are arranged in the right layers and stuff like that. So I'm going to pick a design for my header, like this pattern I painted in watercolor. So I'm going to pop that in, text drop to none, rotate 90 degrees, and then throw it up there. Flip the image around so that the nice little purple circles are towards the bottom where you can see them. And now I'm going to pick a font, any font, and then put a header in here, notes, resize, bang. Text drop to none. Now we're going to put a date section on the other side. Lower the size of that text and move it around a little bit. Let's select the style of table you'd like. I personally like these headerless alternating color tables to use for my lined inserts. Now we're going to decrease the number of columns to 1 and increase the number of rows to however many. It depends really on the size that you would like to make each line. Here I'm going to make them kind of small. I prefer a college rule. So we're just going to set the table text drop to none so we don't interfere with any of the other elements on the screen or on the page. Increase the number of lines, and this is pretty important. If you find that you cannot resize your table as small as you'd like it, go to Table and then uncheck Resize Rows to fit cell contents, and then you will be able to resize your rows as freaking small as you want. Now alternating row color, you can turn that off if you just want simple lines. You can also change the outline of your table, the lines inside of each cell. I like the alternating row color, so I'm going to leave that on, but let's pick a better color. How about one of these shades of purple? Turn the opacity down, and there you have it. A nice little lined note sheet. And this way is much preferable to just making lines with underscores or whatever, because you can really control the look of your lines with, and sometimes in certain fonts the underscores will actually print out with spaces in between them, so this ensures that none of that happens. Now we're going to use a table to create a monthly layout. You'll notice that the Dell printer will not allow you to select a borderless layout. That's because the Dell printer can't handle paper to that level. So my HP OfficeJet Pro is the one I'm going to be formatting this for. As you can see, many of the types of paper you can pick a borderless option. So A5 borderless is what I'm going to go for. And then I'm also going to change the page layout to convert to page layout, which is going to get rid of the body of the document and basically give me like a canvas to work on. Alright, now let's insert the table that will become our monthly layout. I'm going to choose an alternating color one with a header. I'm going to move it to the size that I'd like it to be. But as you can see, the column and the row size is not equal, and in order to make each one a square, which is going to look best in my opinion, we can just manually change those so that they're equivalent. Now, let's change the row color, this alternating row color, so that each week has a different color. I'm going to pick this minty color, which will kind of put the roses into the background every other week. Now, for this header, I'm just going to pick all of the columns for the header and color fill those with a nice pink, I think. Lower the opacity, and now you see these lines that appear in the header where you don't want them to be. You'll notice them right here. You can get rid of those. These are the body lines, and then these are the header lines. So unclick that, and those will disappear. So you've got a nice header for the day, months, the days of the week, the month, the year, etc. Notes, whatever. We're going to use a text box for the header, and this font that I downloaded on dafont.com. All caps, irritating. There we go. Now we're going to make text boxes for the headers of each column, because this way you have more control over their placement without having to rely on the table to put them where you want them to be. So you can move them around freely as long as you click text wrap and object placement to none. Text wrap under object placement to none. So here you see me arranging them. Now I'm just kind of working on the dates and putting those all in place where they are. I use a different text box for each date so that I can move them around freely. Nothing gets in the way. I don't like to put the numbers inside of the grid, especially if they need to be moved around and certain things. That way you could just pick it up and put it somewhere else, as opposed to going back and needing to retype the contents of every motherfucking cell. So here I am, just finishing out the dates. I realized I needed another row, so I added one in, and thankfully, with the way everything's set up, you can very easily move things around and rearrange them. Now here I'm playing with the colors and the design a little bit. I wasn't sure if I was enjoying the mint and pink In order to put lines inside of your monthly layout, you can just put a grid inside of a grid. You'll want to, of course, uncheck resize rows to fit cell content so that you can make them as small as you want. We can mess with the outline and the various colors. I'm going to make it, of course, one column, and however many rows that you need or would like. Copy, paste, spread the love. Now, in order to increase the heaviness of these lines, we're going to select only the main contents of the month, not the header, and then we're going to go to this fine-tuned border selection. I'm going to make it a nice dark green and make these a little heavier so it's easier to tell between the months and the days, or the days and such. And add in a little touch here. Now, if you'll notice, this table isn't perfectly aligned, so I'm just going to go in and fine-tune some things. Page 1 is complete, so we're just going to view the page thumbnails and duplicate it for the second half of the layout. Fortunately, we already have all the elements generally where we want them, so we can just rearrange them, make sure everything is in the right order, fix all the dates, go through and put in the lines. I'm going to leave a little bit of these lines hanging out over the side for some extra notes. The last thing I'm going to do is select the cells for the previous and next month and make those different colors so that they stand out, and then I'll be ready to save and export to PDF. So I hope that helped, and I hope you enjoyed this little part 2 of my planner insert tutorials.